So back again for another video for you. So we've already done the pre-BiS to phase 2. This is a quick update. I say quick, it's not that quick. Bear with it. I'm sure it's got some useful information for you. So it's going to be phase 3 specifically. From phase 2, we're going to assume you're in BiS gear in phase 2. What do you want in phase 3? And we're going to cover why, the options, because there's a lot of options in different situations, different bits of gear you want. You can't go from one list. You can't go on the likes of WoW, Icy Veins, and find a BiS list and go, right, these are the items I want, because that's not how it works, not once. Sorry, I've had a lot of gin pointing over there, that's from my glasses. But there's going to be times where you'll want to use different pieces of gear. I'm not going into all of those situations, but there's definitely item slots where you might lose a tiny amount of damage, possibly, to gain extra survivability. So please watch the whole video, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So this is going to be a quick update. I say quick, there's actually quite a bit to go over, which I wasn't anticipating. So we're going to go over gear in phase 3 and what you should be gunning for. Got a few different sets to talk about. I thought the easiest way to do this was just on Wowhead's gear planner. So yeah, we can look at the different items and see the stats changing, and obviously have like cat form in there, etc. So if you haven't seen my what's it called? Oh, I wish there was someone here to help me. Pre-raid BiS up to phase 2 video, then take a look up at the top right of the screen now and watch that first, because that's going to be the basis of this video, or sort of the foundation of the video. So I've sort of left the items equipped on the screen here, which carry over from the last video, and just left the slots empty that we may or may not change. So firstly, let's just have a quick look at this tab, which is pretty much the ultimate phase 3 BiS. So this is for sort of max crit, max attack power. Now you're looking at, from this set, you're getting maybe up to about 3% extra crit and literally about somewhere between 15 and 20 attack power. So it's actually quite minimal for the amount of effort that needs to go in. The only real benefits to this sort of set is you've got more intellect, more stamina, more spirit, more armor. You know, you're a bit tankier, if you like, but you know, we're not really too concerned with that, as I said in the last video. So this is including all the PvP gear that you'd use. So I personally will probably never have this set. So I've sort of customized the set for what I would say is achievable by 90% of the people out there. So the set that I'm sort of looking at is going to be no PvP gear whatsoever, because I'm not really a fan of PvP in Classic, to be honest. And so it's not got like the Warsong Gulch rep bracers either, and no world bosses. Now we will kill world bosses, but you know, I appreciate that maybe 90% of the druids watching this may never or may not kill a world boss while, you know, the gear on it's relevant. So this is the absolute BiS. So we'll just quickly talk about where they come from, because some of it does carry over onto my more realistic list, or my more achievable list, let's call it. So the neck from Florian, 30 agility, 1% hit. So we're basically just comparing this to the current neck that we would be using, which is the Onyxia Tooth Pendant. So 12 agility, 1% hit, 1% crit. So you're looking at 12 attack power, just over 1.5% crit and 1% hit. On the Nefarian neck, obviously you've got 1.5% crit just from the agility, and then you've got 1% hit. So it's got exactly the same stats as the Onyxia Tooth Pendant, except it's got an extra 18 attack power from the extra agility. So definitely want to get your hands on that. Cloak of Draconic Might is the BiS cloak across the achievable and harder to achieve list. So obviously trifactor stat pieces are very good for druids. So 16 strength, 16 agility, 4 stamina, 3 agility enchant obviously. So you know, that's a lot of attack power and over over 0.75% crit. So yeah, very good overall. Nothing better in phase 3. Chest, PvP chest, again, goes without saying, really. It's, actually, when I say it goes without saying, it's not that much better than, like, let's have a look. So the main thing is the crit, the 1% crit you're getting from it, and plus the 14 agility. So you're getting like over 1.5% crit, which is what would be lacking on that chest otherwise. But we can actually get more attack power than this. So if we was to use, for example, well, actually, let's just have a look at the. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Why can't I find it? Oh, there's too many. Let me set it to phase 3. Malfurion's Blessed Bulwark. So from Ebon Rock. So if we put that on, so the attack power is 1116. 25.6% crit. So we know the crit's going to go down, obviously, because we're losing 1.5% crit because it's not got any agility on or any just raw crit. But 1116. Then if we put the PvP chest back on, 1094. So you're getting, nearly nearly 20 extra attack power. The problem is, so the basic rule, and I'm giving you an average because obviously stat weights change depending on all the items overall that you're using. But a general rule would be 1% crit is worth 33 attack power. It's around that. I've played about with loads of gear sets and it hovers between sort of 31 and 34, 35, that sort of region. So me personally, I'm going with 33. So to lose 1% crit, you would want to gain 33 attack power. So with that chest, you're losing 1.5% crit and you're only gaining less than 20. So it's not. It's not worth using. You would use the PvP chest. But as I say, you're probably not going to have it. So I'm going to go over these really quick because I want to talk more about the easier to achieve BiS list for phase 3. So Forest Stalker Braces, again, very good. Agility, strength, one of those trifactor stat pieces again from Warsong Gulch Exalted. PvP Gloves, again, very nice. PvP Legs. Obviously, you'd use the legs and the gloves because if you're using Devil Saw, you're not going to use one without the other. So you'd get rid of Devil Saw altogether. Only good for the 2% hits bonus, really, to be using them both together. Boots from the Florian, which, yep, again, very nice. 44 attack power, 2% hit. Band of a Curia you would still use because if you notice here, this setup, you've got exactly 9% hit, which is perfect. You've got quite a lot of crit. 27% crit is quite high. This is unbuffed, obviously, just in cat form. 1094 attack power, yeah, lovely. So Circlet of Applied Force, again, these trifactor sort of pieces are really nice. Just that alone is giving quite a lot of attack power and over 1% crit. And Drake Fang Talisman, you're going to have to fight people for it, but it's lovely. But best trinket for quite a while. And then Black Hand's Breath. Again, I've mentioned in the last video about using the Maelstrom card, but the Maelstrom card is going to make things a little bit RNG. If you want pure sustained, then Black Hand's Breath may be the better choice for you. Me personally, I am going to use the Dark Moon card, certainly for a few weeks, just to see sort of how it goes. I haven't got my hands on it yet because I've been very, very busy at work. I think I need 2 more cards, but I'll definitely be using it to see how it goes because I remember it being pretty decent with a proc chance and everything, and especially with manual crowd pummeler, hitting 50% faster. It's very good. But yeah, so this would be the absolute best set. So you can pause this video, write and make a note, write them down, or maybe save them to your favourites on Atlas Loot or whatever. If you want the best in slot gear for phase 3, this is what you would go for. But saying that, this is what I'll be going for. And now there's a few pieces here that can change. So let me just go. I'm going to do it on this sort of work with a blank sheet, other than the bits from the last video. So we definitely want the Nefarian neck. There's absolutely no question about that. I'm going to remove. Can I remove them, or I'll just put anything rubbish on for now. But we're not going to be using True Strike shoulders. Maybe we might not be using them. So you're going to want Cloak of Draconic Might. So that's actually just a trash drop. So you could see none of them, you could see 3 or 4 of them. So it's, you know, going to be a bit luck based like all loot, but you'll probably get your hands on one pretty quick. Chest is an interesting one. So, well, it's not, but I'm going to at least explain why. So you still want to be using Cadaverous. I can't spell. You still want to be using Cadaverous with a +4 stats enchant, and let me show you why. Because I actually got this the other chest from Blackwing Lair last night. But if we look, so we're in cap form. So we've got 21.35, 759 attack power. I wish I had a pen near me because I could really do with writing this down. Nope, I haven't got one. So 759, 21.35. Okay, so then if we look at the chest from Blackwing Lair, which does look nice. I don't know what it's called. What's it called? Phase 3. I thought it was... Oh no, it's Malfurion's Blessed Bulwark, because it is. So, if we put this on with a 4 stats enchant, we're now on 20.95. So let's go back to the Cadaverous. 20.95 versus 21.35. So we're losing 0.4. So if we go by our sort of basic formula, we're losing 0.4. We're saying 33 attack power is worth 1% crit. So 0.5% crit is like 16.5. So, you know, we're losing a little bit less. So let's say we'd need at least a 14 attack power increase. Around 14 attack power increase for the epic chest to outweigh the Cadaverous armor. So let's see what that is. So it's on 759. 759. Now it's on 767. So it's not even 10. Yeah, it's 8 attack power. So going by that, going by the stat weights, it's not worth using it. But on the other hand, it gives a shed load of armor, 392. It's amazing for bear tanks, to be fair. It's a lot of armor and gives, a decent amount of stamina as well. So if it's a fight where you want that extra bit of survivability, it is a minuscule DPS decrease compared to Cadaverous armor for a lot more survivability. Now, when I say minuscule DPS decrease, you could wear this, get lucky in a fight, because the fights are so short, get lucky, get 1 or 2 more crits than you did the time you killed it when you had Cadaverous armor on, and do more DPS. That's what's quite sort of difficult to really add proper values to items at the moment, because the fights are not lasting long. If you're on a 3-minute plus fight, then obviously the sustain and the length of the fight, you're gonna want whatever your absolute best stats are. You'll always want what your best stats are, but what I'm saying is it removes the luck, not completely, but obviously it will normalise over the course of the fight. Whereas when you've got a 20-second Valstraz kill, where you're doing ridiculous damage, or the only over a 20-second period, the only difference between doing 1k DPS and 1.4k DPS is the amount you crit. To be fair, the sort of attack power and all of that doesn't pay as much dividends over the long run. So I would leave this up to you. I've got this chest now. I was lucky. I'm only one of 3 druids in our raid, so I tend to get a lot of the crap that no one wants. So it's, yeah, I can see the benefit. I'll probably use it on fights like Nefarian or just fights where I might be taking a bit of damage because of the extra stamina, extra armor. So yeah, but point for point DPS, Cadaverous with +4 stats is still slightly better. Okay, Devil Saw Gauntlets, we're still going to use those. Cloud Runner Girdle, we're still going to use that. I'd also like to just mention Serpentine Sash. Let me just get this up. Yeah, so I just wanted to mention this one briefly as well. So compared to Cloud Runner Girdle, actually, a subscriber, Douglas Lydia, I hope I'm saying your surname right, actually commented on the first BiS list video mentioning this, and it is a really good alternative, which I completely forgot about or didn't mention on the first video. So if you get bored of farming for Cloudrunner Girdle, then this, this is a decent alternative. It's got stamina on as well, so you've got a bit more survivability. It's BOE, so you can just go buy it from the auction house. It's probably like less than 5 gold, I would imagine. So if you've just dinged, definitely, well, not even just dinged, when you're 52, just go and buy it off the auction house, because it will last you a long time. So yeah, thank you for mentioning that. Back to where we was. So yeah, Cloudrunner Girdle, you'll still be using this. Now, there is, again, an alternative to... Sorry, I'm just getting Discord messages, which is putting me off. When I say there's an alternative, there's not. Cloudrunner Girdle is still better, but there is a... What's it called? Phase 3, let me just have a look through, because I always forget the name. Taunt. Dragonhide belt. So 60 attack power. It's nice. It's a nice belt. I find it strange it's still got less armor than the blue one from Cloudrunner Girdle. But if we have a look, 21.35 crit, let's just say 21.3, and 759 attack power. 21.3, 759. So, sorry, I'm just trying to do maths in my head. 759, so we've gone up by 11 attack power, but we've lost, so 20.6. Let me just look. So 20.6, 21.3. So, we've lost 0.75%. So, for it to be worth using, again, going by 1% crits worth around 33 attack power on average, we would need 20 plus attack power for it to... No, wait. We would need... Yeah, so for it to be worth using, our attack power would need to go up by, let's say, 20 plus. That's being generous. Ideally, you would want it to go up by, so 33, 16, 20, 32, so you'd want it to go up by 24. Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to do maths in my head. So yeah, you would want it to go up by 24 at least, closer to 25 actually. So it doesn't. So Cloudrunner Girdle statistically is better, but again, you have got the stamina, the survivability. It's definitely something I would take. If it drops, maybe for take it for bear, but you may occasionally use it for the odd fighting cat. But if we're just talking DPS, Cloudrunner Girdle still best. Devilsaur leggings, we haven't got the PvP legs, so we're going to carry on using the Devilsaur set because attack power, crit, hit, it's lovely. Feet, we're going to want the where are they? Boots of the Shadow Flame. So 2% hit, 44 attack power, 22 stamina. Yeah, they're very, very good. I mean, even when you compare them to the PvP boots, the PvP boots give around the same attack power. I can't even bother to add it up, but there's not much in it. So yeah, you'll be wanting to get Boots of the Shadow Flame from Neff, and then obviously you'll be wanting to put your movement speed enchant on. It's called speed, isn't it? So yeah, we'll want that on. Again, sorry, I should have really been enchanting these as I go along. So you're going to have to just take the stats as unenchanted on some of it, because it's not important for this. So rings. This is where things are going to change slightly. So this is what we was left with at the end of Phase 2. So Band of Acuria from Ragnaros and Don Julio's ban from Exalted with AV. Now, you're going to want to get... Let me just show you. It will be easier. So you're going to want to get Circle of Applied Force from Flamegore. So again, Trifactor. I mentioned this in the other full BiS piece here. The reason you want this is because of the attack power crit. Yeah, we've mentioned that already. But now Band of Acuria is open to be replaced soon, and I'll show you why. So you might not even need to worry about Band of Acuria. Depends what way you want to go. So if we'll quickly do trinkets. This is very easy. Drake Fang Talisman. You want to get that, and then let's just say you didn't want to invest in the card because you don't trust me and it might be rubbish, and you're just using Black and breadth still, and then you're going to be using manual crowd pummeler. So I don't need to talk about any of this because, you know, it's fairly basic. I mean, Drake Fang Talisman, look at it. It's a beast. You want it as soon as possible. If you're on some sort of DKP system, you want to be saving to get it first. If you're on a loot council, you want to sleep with the loot council just to make sure you're first. So, right, okay. So now what you'll notice is if we put True Strike shoulders on, we're now at 11% hit. So this would be, for me, this would be my gear. You know, I would be. These are the pieces. Just these 4 pieces are what. 5 pieces are what I want from Blackwing Lair. And then obviously I've mentioned sort of the belt, the chest, the bit. You know, the optional bits maybe for a bit more survivability at the risk. And I'm not saying cost of damage, just the risk of losing a little bit of damage. But we're now on 11% hit, so now we can increase our other stats by losing 2% hit. Now, by all means, please, if anybody's got a better solution to this amazing problem to have, being over the hit cap, then tell me. The best option I could come up with after playing with gear sets was to get rid of True Strike shoulders. No, it wasn't. I looked at that first. This is one option. One option is to get rid of True Strike shoulders and used the shoulders from Chromagus. But the option that I found better, surprisingly, was to keep True Strike shoulders on, get rid of Band of Acuria, and use Quick Strike Ring. So this setup now means you haven't got to farm AV to Exalted, you haven't got to worry about killing Ragnaros anymore. Quick Strike Ring is so much easier to get because, you know, it's from the first bosses. So actually getting phase 3, my achievable phase 3 BiS is even more achievable because you're removing the need to clear the whole of Molten Core, and farm AV if you didn't want to farm AV. So the reason I've gone for this is because, well, it's fairly obvious. Using Quick Strike Ring in conjunction with True Strike shoulders now brings us down to 9% hit. The crit is 24.3, attack power is 995. If we then swap that back round and use Acuria and Taunt, our attack power's gone down by 0.4 and our crit's gone down slightly as well. Not 0.4, it's gone down by 4 points. And crit's gone down slightly as well. So I've not looked at a boot alternative. Well, I have briefly, but I know how rubbish the boot slot is at the moment anyway. So I can't imagine there is anything that would come, you know, close to the True Strike shoulders with the Quick Strike Ring. So that is, in a nutshell, what you want to be aiming for. As I say, if you want to know sort of, you know, stat priority and all that, that's all in my first video. But this is, yeah, this is my achievable list, if you like. And as I say, we've spoke about the other bits that you can change, like the, you know, the epic chest that drops, the belt. Oh, actually, Brainwave, one thing, another item that I got last night, and I thought I would just mention it. It's an interesting item. And I say it's an interesting item, so it dropped from Val last night. And the other druids passed on it and let me take it just because, well, they've got no use for it. One's a Boomkin, one's Resto, so they're rarely going to use it. And I will. And I tell you what, it's absolutely fantastic on. So don't get me wrong, if you use some sort of soft reserve or priority system or whatever your loot system is, you don't want to jeopardize getting another item over this. I'll just make that clear first. But if you can get it for free without affecting any future loot, take it, because it's amazing on trash. And it's got its purposes in TBC if we progress onto TBC as well, but we can talk about that in another video. But this on trash, obviously, if you're anything like me, I hate coming out of cat form and drinking. So, you know, this every sort of, every 5 minutes, you know, when you're clearing trash, you just pop this trinket on, and then you can just do your normal sort of boss rotation on trash without any downtime. So it'll be fantastic in dungeons as well. Just clear trash, you know, with this on, and then switch, or when it's on cooldown, just switch it out for your Hand of Justice or whatever. But I would recommend trying to get hold of it. As I said, I was using it on the rest of the trash in Blackwing Lair last night.
And yeah, I think that's its place, if I'm honest with you. Everyone says it's a trash trinket. It is a trash trinket, literally. So yeah, definitely try and get hold of it. Now I think I'm done. Oh, no, I'm not. Let's talk non-manual crowd pummeler. So there is a really nice weapon I like. So Draconic Maul. If you can get hold of that for free, then take it. Just for when you're not using, if you're not using manual crowd pummeler, or I don't know, you've run out of charges halfway through the raid or whatever, and you want a weapon to use, then yeah, try and get hold of this as well. Now I think I'm done, and the video has still run over far longer than I wanted it to. So apologies for that, but if you've stuck around to the end, thank you very much.
So I think what I was trying to say at the end there was, if you found this video useful, like and subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. Obviously support the channel, and I'll keep this content coming that hopefully you're finding useful over and over again. Cheers.